Hey everybody, welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Wade Acuff and I am going to be your host for this next set of video challenges. We've got 4 coming up, including this one. And today's challenge is a countdown? No, yes, it's a countdown. We'll get into that in a minute. I do want to say hello, chat. How's it going? Also, chat, I have something to tell you. This is not live. This is pre-recorded. I'm going to try to be in chat. If I may even be the mod, I don't know, but if I'm not, there will be a mod to help you if you have any questions, and you can also reach out to me if you ever have any questions. But yeah, what are we doing today? We have a countdown challenge. Countdowns are usually kind of assigned to animators, you know, as a lesson in like flexibility and, you know, making it something cool and having some transitions and that sort of thing. We're mostly going to focus on the transition, less on the animation part of it. There will be some, but not a lot. What else? You know what? Let's just get into it. I'll show you as we go. I do have an example ready for you. You could use this for something like a reel, a beginning of a reel, a demo reel, or even like if you do live stream, or if you want to live stream, you could do that. It can be used for all sorts of things. If you want to have an application for it. Or if you just want to do it for fun, we have this challenge. And this is kind of what I made using very simple animation. We have one control for this. We have a shape layer acting as a couple of things, like a highlighting element and also a matte. And I'll show you how we did that. You do have a starter file that has basically everything, because I wanted you to focus on these shape layers more than anything else. So you have a full, this is the starter file, you have a full countdown going on here. So focusing on that is what we're going to do. But I am going to show you real quick how I made that. And I'll just do that real quick with the type tool. Control T will bring up our type tool. And then I'm going to press 3 to get us our 3 in here. We have the 1 and the 2, or the 2 and the 1, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm going to bring this down and then Alt, open bracket, Alt or Option, close bracket. And I do like to leave a gap where you don't see anything, like a little blank. It's up to you if you like that. Always do it to taste. And then I'm going to add our control in here before I do anything else. I want to center my pivot point or my anchor point with Control Alt Home, or that would be Command Option Home, and it moved our anchor point to there. So now we can use our alignment to bring it to the center. Bam! So we've got that. Now I'm going to add a null object for our control and pull this down. I'm going to go ahead and rename, or right click to rename 3 control. And then use the brackets again to bring this guy down, Alt or Option bracket. And there we go. All right, we're good to go. So what I want to do first, I'm just going to animate the scale. So if I choose the layer, now press S, it's going to bring up our scale options. And we have a little stopwatch. I'm going to go ahead and lay these out at 100% scale to roughly where I want them. I'm just adding keyframes. I think it's going to pull in at the end and shrink down just like the other ones do. And let's see what that looks like once we add some in. I'm going to scale this. Oh, we have to pick whip it. Don't forget to do that. Take your 3 and pick whip it to your control. And then I'm going to scale this down. Not too small because I want it to appear where you can already see it. But at the back end, I am going to shrink this down, scale it down quite a bit. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay. Not bad. It's just kind of there. It doesn't have any movement at its largest size. But if we look at the graph editor and then select that layer, you can see it's a flat top. The value doesn't get any larger. But if you want to select these and then add an auto Bezier with that little button right there. You can also toggle, if I undo this, you know, and hold down Alt or Option, you can toggle to that auto Bezier. It's the same exact thing we just did. You can also grab these and press F9 if you want to easy ease. I like to do that just to grab these handles and pull them up a little bit. You can also press this button over here. That's an easy ease button in your graph editor. And then I'm going to do this, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to take a look at it. Yeah, I think it works. I think that's fine. So that's how I made that. No big deal. But this control is now the control for everything we do the rest of the stream. Honestly, this is the main control. But what do? We added a shape layer. And it's real simple. You just grab your rectangle tool. But I wanted to let you know, if you grab the rectangle tool or any of these shape tools and you hover over, when you have a layer selected, it will show an icon with a white box with a black dot. That means you're making a mask. That's not what we're trying to make. So we want to make sure that we're not selected on anything. And then you'll see a little star, and then that will make your shape layer. So this is what we're looking at. Something like that. I actually want to make this a little bit longer. Something like this. I will Control Command Alt Option Home to center it and then align this to the middle as well. Not super necessary, but I just like to make sure things are clean. I will go down here and bracket this to our beginning and end. And then change the color so we know that it's part of this red. And I could rename this. I may not be able to. I may forget to rename things. I'm going to call this 3 shape 1. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a 3 shape 2. But we've got this shape with a stroke. There's no fill, which is what I want. Because right now I want to make sure that I'm at the largest scale of this. And I'm just going to pick whip this shape to our control, our 3 control. Now when we roll back, we can see it is animated with our number. Super easy, super great. So there, we need to start looking at our options for this. And real quick, now that we have a shape layer, we have 3 transforms going on here. We have the transform rectangle that has a whole bunch of position, scale, all that stuff. We have the shape layer transform. Again, position, scale, rotation. And then we actually have the control that is controlling it, that we pick whip to. Just letting you know, there's always ways to transform and shape things and do things. You could even add another null object to control it if you wanted to. But just letting you know about those now, because we may wind up using one of those. But I do want to scale this a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add a scale. Actually, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And then at the end, and I left these keyframes up so that I could watch them and see them, make sure they don't move. Just use them as a reference. And I'm going to scale this up something like that. And then I'm going to scale it way down, even further down than we had originally. And I think I'm just going to easy ease these. Let's see what we got. Okay, not bad. And you can see what's happening is the scale is continuing to scale, even though our 3 has scaled. So it's giving us a little bit of a floating motion, like it's pushing it out. And then it's a little bit, and then it's pulling everything back in. Well, I like it. Let's keep going. So we have a rectangle shape with options. I want to adjust the roundness. And I'm going to go ahead and set a keyframe. And I'm going to make this a little bit round, but then I'm going to pull it all the way out and really go for that pill shape. And then I think I'm just going to add the same beginning keyframe at the end, and then add an easy ease, F9, and let's play that back. Let's see what happens. Not bad. Not bad. Let's get some rotation on this. Just like I had in the example that we showed before. I think I'm actually going to start this direction, pull this back, and then we're going to go full, we're going to go like that, and then as we zip out, I want to go full 90 degrees. So it's vertical. You can hardly see it in there, but that's it. So let me put an easy on that one. F9. In case you want to know what the easy is doing, it's just leveling these out a little bit, giving us more of a smooth transition. So that's cool. Now let's animate the stroke of this. Let's animate the stroke width. I'm gonna add a keyframe. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay these keyframes out first. Oops, because I know I want the beginning of this a little bit thicker, the middle of this, or this next keyframe, thinner, and then the last of this really thick. I want to block out the sun with this one. So, or maybe the 3. I'll block out the 3. How about that? We'll make a compromise. Okay, pulling this back, I'm going to ease this again with the F9. Let's take a look at it. Okay. I mean, it's getting somewhere. I don't know where that is, but it's getting there. All right. I think we're almost at the place. I'm happy enough with it. I think we're almost at the place where I want to start adding some artwork into this. Now, I'm using illustration. You could use photos. You could use design, just whatever you want to display. But let's get into it, see what we can do. I'm going to pick some of the same examples we had before just because I know they work and I had them ready to go. I'm going to bracket this in. I'm going to leave the background. This is going to be our background. I'm going to leave this background all the way from the beginning. So that's what we're going to see as we lead into our countdown. And then I'm going to hit scale, hit S to get our scale. I don't want to pull this back enough because what I want to do is I want to have well, I'll just show you. I'll do this first and then we'll talk about it. So we don't really have a lot going on here. I want to create another shape. I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to come back to the original one. With it selected, I'm going to add our solid color back in. Don't panic. We're fine. Everything's great. I'm going to pull in another piece of artwork here and drag this into place. In fact, yeah, I'll just go ahead and we could do this. I could have done a couple other things, but I'm going to bracket this in. Hold down Shift to lock this in wherever you can hold down Shift and pull this and it'll lock to other frames or the layers, sorry. But I'm going to use, you can probably tell where I'm going with this. I'm going to use this shape layer as a matte. So our shape 3 right here is now our matte. And let's see. So we got something that looks like that. That's fine. That's cool. But I want to highlight this a little bit. So I'm using this this stroke only shape. And I'm just going to change the blend mode to color dodge. And you can adjust that if you wanted to. If you wanted to, like, you know, maybe come in here and make it something else. I don't know. I kind of like the blue. Somewhere in there. I don't know. Some of these are kind of cool. Anyway, you can adjust that all you want. I'm just going to click OK. And let's see what we got. Still good. Not, you know, there's still more we can do. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I started to talk about if I want to add a little more dynamic motion to this, I can just take these stills and change the scale on them. And I'm going to, if I'm pushing one forward, I'm going to pull the other one out. So this one, I'm going to add 2 keyframes, one at the beginning, one at the end. And I think I'm going to be slightly zooming in. I don't want it to be super fast. Let's see, is that slow? That's slow enough. And then with the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. Press S to get our scale options up. Add a keyframe at the beginning and the end. Go back to the end. And then I'm going to scale this up slightly. I don't know. I can't see it yet. Oh, no, scaling down. I need to scale down. So scale down. I can't really see it until I play it. That's fine. We can make it a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Let's take a look at this. Oh, yeah, it stops because bip. Let's see. All right, let's try that. Cool. Now, one thing I'm noticing is I want my 3 to be gone. And you can see it's not gone. So I want this 3 to be matte. Use the shape, shape 2, inverted. So now when it covers up, but I can turn it back on to not lose the blend mode. So now it's just using that shape to mask out that 3, and it's gone. Awesome. So I think we're starting to get somewhere with this. Now, remember when I mentioned multiple ways to scale things, to do all sorts of things? I want this to be bigger. I want this shape to now, not necessarily fill the whole page, but be a little bit bigger. If I jump back into this shape layer and go down to the rectangle, let's see, let me get out of this. Bip. Rectangle, transform rectangle 1. If I adjust the scale, I can make this bigger. So I'm going to do that. I don't want to go out of the bounds of my my image, which is what I was starting to do. You can see it there. I could scale that image up if I wanted to, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. But I am going to copy that number because ideally I would have had both of these at the same, made the first one correctly. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. You can copy and paste. Or you could there's a lot of ways you could do this. But I'm going to go down here and then go to our scale and bam, there we go. So we should be good to go. Oh, it does go out. Okay, not a problem. Can fix. So I'm going to grab this and then just scale. We'll go ahead and grab both of these. I'm going to go to one of the animated keyframes, and I'll scale the whole thing up to make sure it's outside the bounds. So now we've got this going on. We've scaled, and we're back. All right. So that's one of those. That's just one. Let's add another one. Got a little bit of time. I think I can get it done. Fingers crossed. And again, all that's guided by one control, but one shape layer. So let's move on to 2. And let's grab, we kind of know how to do this, right? So let's not select anything. Let's go in here and grab our ellipse tool. And let's make, okay. Let's see, it's not wanting, oh. Ellipse tool. I had this happen earlier. Let's see if I can force this to work. All right, so I'm gonna have to double click to make my ellipse tool. It's just something that's happening right now, but it should work fine. It did not work. Let's see. There we go. All right. I'm gonna bring this in. Ooh, it did a weird thing. Let's see if I can add another one here. No, it's not letting me. It's okay. We can make this work. I am going to scale this down, and then I will. Let's see. Align this. First, I'm going to hit my Control Alt Home, make sure we're in the center, and then I'm going to align this to the middle, which it is, and I'm going to turn our fill off. Okay, and that I'm doing this just to show you that there are ways you can use these shape layers, because I'm going to add our friendly friend real quick. Change the color of this. Not necessary, but in the contents, in our shape layer, you can see there is an add. I'm going to add our repeater friend. It should give us 3 copies. I'm going to turn this down so we can see our copies. I want the position to be at 0, because what I'm going to animate here for this one is the scale. And I'm going to bring the scale of, again, why I mentioned the scale, bring the whole scale down, because I want this to scale up. I'm going to scale this back a little bit more. Oops, wrong scale. Remember what I was saying? Make sure you remember what scale you're on. That's why. So okay, I'm gonna put a keyframe there for this scale, the transform repeater scale, and go somewhere in here. Make this larger. I may actually bring the scale up, the whole thing up. Let's see what that looks like. It's not bad. Also haven't pick whipped it, so let's do that. So I haven't used my control yet. So I'm going to go to the full size of this, and I'm going to put it on the control, see what we got. It's not bad. It's not bad. So I'm going to go back in here, press U to reveal your keyframes. We've got something going on here. I like it. I'm going to come to the end, and right when it starts to get smaller, I am going to go back to my scale, add a frame, and then I'm going to zip this thing out. See what that looks like. Just play it real quick. It's not bad. We can add easy ease to this. Should make it a little bit more, there we go, a little bit more exciting. And then we have another, we already have something built in. It's ready for us to use. We can now add our artwork to this if we would like. And let's pick, let's see what we got here. I've got, let's see what I want to use here. Well, I want to use this one for the middle. I'll use this guy for the middle. Let's see, scale it down. Getting close to time, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. I'm going to put this to somewhere in here. That's fine. I do want to make, well, maybe we'll do it like this. And let's go ahead and make our second copy. And then add our, I keep doing that. Add our fill, our solid back in for our fill, click OK, and then use the matte for our shape layer 1. So we've got that. So that's what it's looking like here already. Digging it. Now all we need is our background, which I'm not sure which one I want to use. Let's use our buddy Mingo. I don't know how this is going to look. Oh, look at our buddy Mingo sitting in the background. That's a little too garish, I think. Let's just use something, Outpost. This might be all right. Yeah, something like that. Whoop. Okay. Cool. Let me scale this down just a little bit. We've got plenty of time. And then again, we can go ahead and take our shape layer here. I'm not going to be able to do animate the thickness of the stroke, but that's okay. I do want to change this to a color dodge or something. It doesn't have to be color dodge, but you'll get the idea. And then this one, I will scale up, add keyframe, come to the end, scale it up. Something like that. It's not in the center, and that's fine too. And then this guy we're going to scale out. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. So let's see. We got 3, 2, 1. 1 doesn't do anything. I'm going to clip this off. But that should give you the building blocks for this challenge. So if you want to go and make your own, and don't forget, I know we've got only a few seconds here, but there's a lot of other things you can add to this. I'm going to jump in here and show you. If you come down to the shape layer, don't forget you've got other things in here. You've got repeaters, trim paths, twist, wiggle paths, zigzags, kind of cool. If I do this, open this up, change the size of our zigzag. I don't know, bring the ridges down or up. And then we already have something else that's completely different. It doesn't match right now because we added zigzag to it. I wonder if I can just copy select. Let's see if we can. It did. Look at that. Copy select. Now we've got a whole other look. You could just copy that to the next one, and your one is good to go. But that is going to do it for us today. Thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Looking forward to the next video challenge. And stick around. There's a lot more coming on Adobe Live. And we hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.